Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I once again welcome all of you to this Bhakti Sanga Japa newsletter interview, and this is the annual edition also. And so today we are very fortunate to have with us Her Grace Preethi Vilasini Mataji, a very special interview today. And so before moving on to the interview, I would like to read the introduction about Mataji. Her Grace Preethi Vilasini Mataji did her chemical engineering from MS from Ramya Institute of Technology, Bangalore, Masters in Anna University, and later studied environmental engineering at University of Houston. She got married to a wonderful Vaishnava, His Grace Srinivas Jagannath Prabhu. After getting introduced to Krishna consciousness around 2009, she took initiation from His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj in 2015. She is an exemplary devotee, a great scholar, and has in-depth knowledge of Shastras, especially Srimad Bhagavatam. She is an eloquent speaker, and the way she narrated various stories from scriptures feels like a grandma narrating stories. The way she narrates pastimes in her sweet voice with so much expressions and enthusiasm makes the listener envision them in front of their eyes. She is one of the main administrators of Bhakti Sanga Japa Conference Group, which is a virtual temple for many devotees. Her dedication, sincerity, and management skills, along with humble attitude, is an inspiration for many devotees and took this Japa group to great heights. She has served in Houston, Atlanta, Bay Area, and Chicago temples in various capacities. She is now currently residing in Atlanta. She conducts several classes and inspires many devotees in their path of Krishna consciousness. She is a very good cook too, and also she supports and encourages all the neophytes, whoever is joining in the Bhakti Sangha, and also personally in the temples also. And materially, Mataji is currently working at TCS as a technical writer and solutions engineer. And many more to say about Mataji, so I could cover up only this much. So thank you so much, dear devotees, for joining once again. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much for giving us your valuable time and association today for this interview, Mataji. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Mataji, you're muted.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. So, Mataji, please tell us how is your journey in Krishna consciousness, like from where you started. It's as I read in the introduction that you came in 2009. So how was your journey from then, and how you came into the process, how you got attracted to this moment of Krishna consciousness?
So after I got married and I came to the US, I had a lot of time in hand, and we had this gift of Google where we could search out answers to all the questions we have been having since childhood. I had an opportunity to go to a temple in Houston where there was a library, and I picked up a book that said Temples of South India. The reason I picked up that book is because in my childhood, I had heard many stories, different Sthala Purans of various temples from my grandfather. That inspired me to pick up that book. And that book had a very grand introduction on temples and worship and who is God. And for some reason, in that introduction, God was identified with Krishna. And it actually, that introduction itself made me think a lot. And I was new in a different country. I had seen people of various races and different backgrounds. So I was really curious to get my own answers, to understand who is God, which system of religion is actually showing us God. So I used the Google tool. I had free internet. Internet was very nice here when I came. So I used to spend hours trying to Google to understand different philosophies in our Vedic culture. I read about other religions as well. But specifically in our Vedic tradition, I was very attracted initially to the Advaita philosophy for some reason, because I thought we should be very liberal. And coming from a Sri Vaishnava background myself, I thought my upbringing was very nice. But then I've seen that generally Sri Vaishnavas seemed at that time to me to be quite fanatic. So I didn't understand why they always said it is only the form of Vishnu, Narayan, to be the supreme, and why not Lord Shiva, why not Durga? So I was very liberal at that time, and I spent a lot of time reading the Advaita philosophy, but for some reasons my questions were not getting answered. There was a lot of beating around the bush, nothing was clear. And I was started reading commentaries on the Bhagavad Gita by other philosophers other than Srila Prabhupada. Then my husband, he was already introduced to Krishna consciousness, and when I married him, he was chanting. Of course, he was not like a very, extremely serious devotee or something, but he liked to chant, and he had great respect for the devotees. And he told me, "Why are you reading all this? Just pick up Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita." And he took me to a fair in the same temple. It's actually the Houston Meenakshi temple. He took me to a fair there where there was an ISKCON stall, and he got me Bhagavad Gita as it is, and he said, "This is the book you should be reading." So though I was not very convinced initially, I started comparing the different philosophies for myself. I would read the commentaries of all these books, and then I was trying to figure out things by myself. But eventually, over a period of maybe around a year, I started realizing that the Vaishnava philosophy had answers to all the questions that I was seeking for. There is so much clarity on the identity of God, on the identity of the jivas, our relationship with Him, and it seemed very consistent as compared to other philosophies. So that shifted my focus to explore more into the Vaishnava philosophy, and ISKCON people were the ones who were very active on the internet, giving a lot of information. So I asked my husband if he could just go to the ISKCON temple, and he took me. He took me to the ISKCON temple, and initially I had a lot of resistance because I thought it's a cult. And but he kept telling me, no, they are some of the nicest people you can see. And then I went, and one day yeah, so I went in, I did have an experience, but I was still not pulled into it. But few days later, maybe a few months later, I went with a friend of mine who wanted to put her son in the Sunday school. So I just accompanied her, and I went and asked if there were classes for adults. And that's when the school principal in Houston, she led me to an adult class on Bhagavad Gita. It was a part of the Bhakti Shastri course, and they were doing Bhagavad Gita. And she took me into this Prabhuji's class, Damodar Sharan Prabhu. Many of you might know him. So she took me into that class, and she said, just you can attend these classes. And I had so many questions for that Prabhu, and almost 1 year, I kept arguing. I kept asking so many questions, and eventually, by the mercy of the devotees who engaged me in service, I was engaged in some kitchen service by Rasikendra Prabhu, Bhakti Mataji, and eventually, yes, after doing some service and taking prasadam, because that is another thing, I would never take prasadam there. Somehow I would run away after the class. I never took darshan also. But then they were insisting that it is very important to take darshan of the deities, take prasadam, and that's how your consciousness will get tuned properly. So taking all that advice seriously, doing some service, eventually over a year, all my questions were answered by the mercy of Krishna. And by Krishna's mercy, I'm very happy that I'm here in this movement that is my life and soul.
Very well. Very wonderful journey, Mataji, you just said. And you were saying that in Houston you got connected, right? So is it a school you were mentioning?
No, it's the Houston temple that has a Sunday school. Like there is a building where there is the Prasadam hall, there's Sunday school, and the kitchen. Now Radha Neelamadava's temple is huge, But when I used to go, it used to be a very small, upcoming space.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So, Sunday school, in the sense, are you meaning about the Sunday feasting program, or what do you mean about?
So in US, generally there is a concept called as Sunday school, where the children come and learn over the weekends. They learn shastras, they learn stories, and it is called as a Sunday school. That means a school that functions only on Sunday.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
But now
nice.
I know Houston Temple also has a proper Gurukul. They have everything now. Name it, they have it. But I'm
Mhm.
talking many years back. Yeah.
Nice to hear, Mataji. And you were saying about you were brought up in Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, right?
Mhm.
So, how was your upbringing in that Sampradaya? Which means, like, how was your journey in that?
Honestly, it's not very different from what we are doing now. At least the main practices are very similar. But we were not very religious per se, and we didn't have much understanding. But at least the external practices are very similar to what we are doing now. So even my husband was telling when he told me that, why do you think it's a cult? It's not at all different from what we have been taught and the way we have been raised. So, which is very true. Externally, no big difference. It's very similar. Just your Ishtadev is a little different. That's all. Yeah.
Good, nice to hear that, Mataji. And yeah, so materially, you are doing your job and all those things, and yeah, you're giving classes nicely on Bhakti Sangha also, which we always relish. So, how do you manage all those things, Mataji? For the class, when you come, do you prepare for the class and come,
I,
or
uh,
how
I,
it
I,
is?
I can't do impromptu classes. I need a lot of time to think about the subject. I have to prepare. I just can't do spontaneous classes. Even if it's the smallest kids class, I need preparation time. I like to prepare. I like to be prepared because if I'm not prepared, I'm very scared where I'll say something irrelevant and waste everybody's time. So it's better to go prepared. I feel, especially when we are giving Krishna conscious classes, we should, at least it's something that everybody does, of course. We should give our best in terms of being sincere and preparing. That's how we'll do justice to the topic given to us. Yeah.
Yeah, so how do you get time for that, Mataji? Because materially we are doing the work and spiritually we are doing this. How do you balance that?
Krishna will help. However busy you are, you can
Full
find
answer.
time. Yeah, there will be some time. So again, it comes down to what our interests are. If your passion is studying Krishna conscious things, automatically, like for example, you're very fond of something, you're fond of cooking, you will find time to cook, right? It is
Mm.
not that difficult. Meaning Krishna will arrange, that is right, and also you will also try to multitask or somehow get that thing done because you're so interested in it. Whatever is close to your heart, you will get it done. So I think that way, Krishna consciousness is close to everybody's heart, all practicing devotees. So everybody will find time for Krishna consciousness.
Yes, perfect,
Yeah.
Mataji. Of course. So when we want to do some seva for the Lord, then the Lord will give us the way.
Yes,
So
he will
thank
give us
you.
the way. And I've seen that initially I was not working. Initially at that time, I had the lot of time. I was able to plan every day in terms of what class, what I need to do, how much I need to study today. But life changed later, and maybe I don't have that much luxury to extend my time in Krishna consciousness. But still, Krishna will assure that you have some time to do what you desire to do. Yeah. We just have to desire; it'll happen.
Haribol. Haribol, Mataji. And yeah, so you were saying that when as soon as you were taking to the process of this Krishna conscious, you were reading the books of Bhagavad Gita, which is written by other acharyas, maybe other writers. So, and then finally, when you came to Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita book,
Mm.
so what did you find that difference, Mataji? What was there in that the other writers' book, which you whether you got convinced of that or you didn't get convinced of that, and what you found in Prabhupada's book?
Consistency in terms of philosophy. That is what I saw in Srila Prabhupada's book, and clarity in giving answers. So if he's defining God, it is consistent from beginning to end. The way that verses are translated, they are crystal clear. You know, if you read the other books, I don't recommend anybody to read, but if at all you read, it is very confusing. Even a simple verse in Bhagavad Gita is translated with so much concoctions, and you'll forget what Krishna intended to say. But really, Srila Prabhupada's translations and commentaries and purports is as it is. And he just follows the Purvacharya's commentaries. So it is so clear, it is so consistent. If you know, just for fact check, if you want to do, I used to do this. So you go and look up, you know, online nowadays you have the commentaries by all the acharyas. You just go and look up at all the traditional acharyas like Ramanuja, Madhva, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Now just go and look up those commentaries. It will be very similar to what Srila Prabhupada writes. So Prabhupada showed that consistency. But whereas there are some new age commentators who write from their mind and they have some motive. Sometimes, like Srila Prabhupada himself mentioned, sometimes yoga is the motive, promotion of yoga is the motive. Sometimes non-violence is the motive. So like that, it is always some external motivation is there in the way they present what Krishna is trying to say. So the more you read and compare, the more you will realize that this is so simple and straightforward. Yeah. And also, I had this issue too. Initially, I was thinking if it's too simple and too straightforward, if the meaning is so evident, then it could be wrong. So we all have that, huh? We have that in our hearts. We're looking for something complicated, but philosophy doesn't have to be complicated. Yeah.
So that's what we have learned in Prabhupada's movement. That's right, Mataji. Philosophy will not be complicated. But I don't know, maybe my brain is very small. I cannot understand philosophy. If you say me stories, okay, I'll be ready to listen. But
no, but all our stories in scripture are loaded with philosophy. So it's okay. I mean, whether we are attracted to story or philosophy, ultimately, if we are attracted to scripture, we are in the right hands.
Certainly, Mataji, as you said, that the Bhagavad Gita, which is written by the other writers, there are many concoctions for one verse itself. I found one book at my mother's place. It was this big, this big, and this big also.
Yeah.
I don't know why where to start. I just let me see one verse. So it was like going on. I don't know where it will start, where it will. I just
then you forget the translation of the verse.
Of course.
So, like, since you were mentioning about the size of the book, the initial book that I had was like really big. And after I got Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, initially I was not so much keen on reading it, but I just kept it I kept it in the bookcase like a showpiece. So this is weird, okay? This would happen. I'm not coming up with a story, but this really happened. That book that was big, right? In the night, it would just, I don't know why it would lose balance or what, it would fall down with a big thud. It would fall down with a big sound. And Srila Prabhupada's book would be steady. It would just stay like that.
Oh.
This happened 3 nights. It's magical, whatever you call it. But then this happened 3 times. And I used to wonder, I used to wake up in the middle of night and wonder, what is this trying to indicate to me?
Prabhupada has tried to indicate, don't take that, take this book and read.
Yeah. But then, yeah, within a few months, there was so much more clarity in my thought process.
Very nice. Very nice to hear about your journey, Mataji. And so certainly for the children classes, you said that you will be preparing. So of the children classes which you have took till now, till up to date, can you mention any class which you would, which you had enjoyed the most?
I always enjoy Bhakti
What do you
Sanga.
observe from the children, Mataji?
Yeah, I always enjoy Bhakti Sanga classes the most. I keep telling this every time. The children who come on Bhakti Sanga are really, really special. They're very sharp and they have so much to offer. I think any class on Bhakti Sangha has been my favorite. And especially something that I can remember is the kids camp that we did in 2020. I thought that was a very big hit series. I learned so much from the kids, and all the teachers participated so nicely. It was so much fun. I feel Bhakti Sangha Kids Academy is one of the best in the world. That's my opinion, of course. Yeah.
Okay. So how far this academy is working, Mataji? This means like how what is the procedure for this academy, kids academy?
It's purely.
Do you have any us anything, or like they have to study any syllabus, and we have any competition, any writings like that?
The syllabus is initially when we started off this with three age groups, Damodar, Govinda, and Madhava classes. And everybody is a teacher pretty much. Everybody gets a chance to teach on Bhakti Sanga. There is no uh, restrictions or something like that. And there are so many teachers. We have like almost everybody on the team, almost 18, 19 people. Anybody who likes to teach is welcome. And initially, it had three groups, as I mentioned, based on age group, 0 to 5, and then 6 to 10, and 11 to 15. But now we have merged two age groups, but we keep the Madhava classes a little separate, which is 11 to 15 are always kept separate. Um, so how it functions as an online teaching forum only. It has never been in person. And people from all over the world teach on Bhakti Sangha, just like how the other classes are run by everybody. Similarly, the classes for the kids are also run by all of us. And the syllabus is generally decided by the team itself. Like the Damodar team will decide their syllabus, Madhava decides their syllabus that way. And it's also not that they are stuck with one syllabus forever. They try to renew it on a regular basis so that children are not bored. Yeah. Honestly, I'm not the right person to speak so much about the Kids Academy because I'm hardly showing up for the kids, but I hardly show up. That is the truth. But when I go, maybe once in a few months or half a year or whatever it is, I feel very happy. I feel they are the best kids.
Okay, certainly, Mataji. So, what do you find from the kids, Mataji? Like, how are their enthusiastic? Means, like, can you tell about their enthusiasm in learning all these things? Because not all kids are, they don't have this enthusiasm in learning all the shastras, everything, right? So, materially, okay, you have to study. Okay, they will go to tuitions, they will study everything, whatever endeavor you wanted, they will do. But when it comes to shastras, both the parents and the children, they have to cooperate, only then that will work out. So what do you find in that, Mataji?
That's true.
How do you?
The kids who are younger have more enthusiasm. The age group for enthusiasm is between the age groups of, say, 3, 4 till maximum 11, 10, 10 to 11. So 5 to 10, that is the prime age. So if the enthusiasm is given in that age, enthusiasm is already there in that age. If the opportunity is given in that age for them to hear, for some reason they hold on to it for a longer time. They are able to, even if they lose interest in their teens, they are able to come back to it. So this is what we have seen with all the children, that 5 to 10 is a very crucial period. If somehow or the other Krishna consciousness is introduced to them, yes, every child has his or her own growth. There are years when they will lose interest and they might be revolting for everything. That is all acceptable and it is normal. But these children will come back.
So yes, 5 to 10, if they have that enthusiasm, yes, they will take it up and they will certainly do it. But that consistency after 12 years or 13 years, do you find anything in that, Mataji? Do they have the consistency, or any children who have?
So, after 12 years, they should be allowed to think for themselves, do their own research, and tell us. They like to share. It's not that they like to sit in classes where a person is continuously lecturing. These kids, they like to do their own research and come and tell us what they have understood. So, they should be given that space. Like, for example, I'm just giving an example of the Madhava classes that are currently going on. They are more research based classes, so it's interactive. The children do their own work and they come and they present their findings. If something like this is given to the teenagers, they feel more involved. So, of course, I'm not saying the attendance is great, like hundreds of children are coming, but even if there are 7 or 8 kids, those kids are interested in continuing these sessions because they are actively involved in doing something and coming back with their findings.
So basically, I feel that it is a ICSE syllabus, like where everything IGCSE or ICSE, where everything goes practically. So yes, of course, if it is there practically, then they will understand it more deeply also. So yeah, so very happy to know about this Kids Academy, Mataji. So coming back to the elders classes, like when you started to give this elders classes?
Thanks to Preethi Mataji. Thanks to Snigdha. Her name is Sukumari Sundari Mataji. They were the ones who hired me in Bhakti Sanga. And I think they were looking for a speaker for Chaitanya Charitamrit. They started Chaitanya Charitamrit in the mid morning around 2011, if I'm not wrong. And they were looking for a speaker when one of the Matajis had gone to India. They were desperately looking for a person to fill in. And they had reached out to many people. And then apparently, I heard that Sukha Sagari Mataji had told that there is one girl I know. She's very interested in reading scriptures. You can try. And then there was a Mataji by the name Sirisha Mataji. I don't even know. I'm not even in touch with Sirisha Mataji now. But she called me and she said that Snigdha had called her asking for a speaker. So I heard that you're interested in reading scriptures and you have read Chaitanya Charitamrita. So would you be interested in giving class? I told her I'm not even initiated. I was not even first initiated at that time. It was in 2011. So she said that's okay. And then I had my talk with Kirtida Mataji, and Kirtida Mataji spoke to me briefly and she hired me.
Very
as the
cool.
as the speaker on I think this was Wednesday, right? Yeah, it was on Wednesday. Initially, I was substituting for another Mataji on Monday, and then after that Mataji returned, also Kirtida Mataji said, Sukumari Mataji and Kirtida Mataji, they said, no, you will continue to be our regular speaker and you can speak on Wednesdays. So I was speaking on Wednesday, Chaitanya Charitamrit, and occasionally Bhagavatam, early morning Bhagavatam, occasional, not much, very, very rare Bhagavatam. Yeah, but
Okay.
Chaitanya Charitamrit was what I was asked to speak on mainly every week. So that's how I started. And then here in the local congregation, there was one Prabhu who, around the same time, no, 2011-12, around that time, I moved to Atlanta. There was one Prabhu who asked for some classes for his Bhakti Vriksha. So I started that. And then it went on. But Bhakti Sangha has been what I'm associated with mainly. Yeah.
Okay. So saying so, when did you enter into? You kept your step in Bhakti Sangha, Mataji.
That 2011, when Kirtida Mataji and Sukumari
2011.
Mataji called me in, that is when I entered as a speaker. And then eventually, Kirtida Mataji got very busy with a lot of other commitments. And she was the main organizer for, even now, she's the main organizer for mid morning. But she added me in and she said that, why don't you now start assigning speakers? And of course, Sukumari Sundari Mataji as well. They said that Kirtida is getting very busy with a lot of work. So is it okay if you can pitch in and then help with assigning speakers and running the roster and doing all that scheduling for the mid morning? And somehow I became one of the coordinators, and then I was very over enthusiastic at that time. I took up other services like the website, this, that, and it started expanding. Yeah, eventually we expanded Bhakti Sangha to become more visible. Yeah. Initially, it was not that very, we were slow initially, but then eventually we became more visible and the outreach became better. Yeah. Of course, social media helps a lot. As social media grew, Bhakti Sangha grew. Yeah.
Okay. So that's nice, Mataji. And initially, you were saying that when you got married, your Prabhuji was chanting, right?
Yeah, he was shared.
Chanting. Okay, but he was not that serious. That's how I hear.
Yeah, not so serious. He would chant, that's it. I mean, we didn't, there was no major lifestyle change. He was chanting. Occasionally, he would go to the temple. He would tell me, do you want to join? And he preferred weekdays, night, Shayanarti. Nobody would be there. Initially, I couldn't connect, but my Prabhu loved going there, so I would just go for him. So, yeah, occasionally.
Okay. So when you came into this moment, what your parents and in-laws, what they felt, Mataji? Anything, any changes?
Yeah, definitely. Initially, like any other parent, my parents were also a little scared. They didn't know what I was getting into. Uh, it's normal, right? Every parent is worried about their child, so they were a little worried. What are you doing? Why this and all that? And I won't say a lot of habits change. Maybe one or two habits change, and they were alarmed. So they were thinking, "What's wrong with her? Is she okay?" But I think that phase fizzled out, It just, as they see you, they come, they see you, and they see that you're the same person. Inside out, you haven't changed much. You're the same daughter as they are, the acceptance will come. See, their worry is, has my daughter become something so different that she will not connect to me anymore, or I will not connect to her anymore? That is their concern, right? Any parent for that matter, they don't want to lose their child. They want to be with their child and they want that relationship to continue. So sometimes parents think that something like spirituality might take away that relationship from the child. It's normal. Like they think, traditionally in India, they think, oh, she's become too spiritual. Will she become sannyasi? Like that. It's normal, right? So
Yes,
it's
Mataji.
normal for
Yeah.
them to think she's going to give up all attachments and she's going to become like this. But they realize, it's nothing different. Nothing has changed at all. Practically nothing has changed. Right? They'll come to that understanding. But initially, I think every parent is alarmed. And my parents were not an exception. They were also alarmed. But they're very happy. They're very happy. They're so grateful for this process today. They have told that many times. But only for Srila Prabhupada's books and for this movement and for this devotee association, we are who we are today. So they are so grateful for everything that we have received. Yeah.
So, and now they are into this moment, or how, Mataji?
They are themselves. I mean, that's fine.
Fine,
Yeah,
fine.
they are favorable and they have their own practices and they are true to their practices. That's fine.
And so, who do you say inspiration in this process of Bhakti, Mataji?
Who's my inspiration? My Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj, Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj is the inspiration. Srila Prabhupada is the inspiration. Srila Jiva Goswami is the inspiration for Shastra. So these are the inspirations, and that's why we are continuing this. If not for Srila Prabhupada, we would not have all that we have today. If not for Guru Maharaj, I wouldn't be sticking around. And if not for Srila Jiva Goswami, we would not get this treasure of these books. But because every single acharya is important in the movement. But these are the people I can immediately think of.
Okay. So we have many scriptures, like in ISKCON movement, we have Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and so this much only I know, Mataji. So may you know more of the books because you are a bookworm as of I have seen
I'm not
you.
a worm, but yeah.
But you read so nicely Shastras and you quote it for us, and yeah, you present it so well, Mataji. And so apart in these Shastras, which is the one which inspired you most and which you want to read again and again?
Srimad Bhagavatam. What is equal to Srimad Bhagavatam? Srimad Bhagavatam.
Nigama kalpataror kalitam.
Phalam Shukamukadamrita Dravasamyutam Pivata Bhagavata Rasamalayam Muhuraho Rasika Bhuvi Bhavakaha Srimad Bhagavatam. How many ever times you read, it feels like you have not read it at all, and then you start all over again. It's my love, yeah. Among everything, Srimad Bhagavatam is my love.
Okay. So at present, what services do you take in temples, Mataji?
Now I am associated with the Atlanta Temple again. In the past, I was associated with the Atlanta Temple, and now I'm very happy to be back. This is the place we eventually wanted to settle, and by Krishna's mercy, I'm here. I pray I continue to settle. Let's see. But for now, Mangalarati Bhog, which includes by the mercy of other Vaishnavas, I'm also a part of the team. And then festival services, hosting, all that. Yeah, these are the main services in Atlanta.
Okay. So apart from Atlanta,
in the other temples also, I was engaged
okay.
in ISV. It was kitchen, Mangalarti, Rajbhog. In Chicago again, it was cooking, Rajbhog. Then in which are the other temples? Houston, yeah. Houston, that's where I started my first service doing puris. I'm a big
I was
puri.
thinking.
Yes, puri. And yeah, I do in Atlanta at least, I do help with festival coordination and hosting. What is that? PR, you say that? Stage programs, all that. Yeah.
So,
And we have
remember?
some groups like Vaishnavi, this gathering. So we host classes. And then there are some Vaishnava skill groups. So I'm a part of that. So there are many groups for weekend sessions. Just I'm a part of many of these groups and as a coordinator. Yeah. Help them poster or promotion, things like that.
Okay. So, since you are doing services in Temple Mataji, how far you find the devotees association over there? Like when we are doing the services, there may be some upcomings and some conflicts must be there, maybe.
Conflict.
Yeah,
Ah.
conflicts. How to face that?
How is the conflict in a temple?
How are conflicts? Have you come across any conflicts and how did you handle it? And so how
Conflicts
to
are
resolve
everywhere.
if the conflicts comes in devotees association.
In devotee association. Conflicts will be there everywhere as long as two persons are under one roof, they say. You have two different personalities under one roof. There will be conflicts, meaning we all have an individuality and we'd like to assert our individuality. But the thing is, we should all understand every single person is important in our life. They are all contributing to Krishna's service. Everybody is trying their best to serve Krishna. And what pleases Krishna is if we can all serve together. That is what pleases Guru and Krishna. If we have that mood in our mind, even if there is a conflict, so what? We will work together and we'll try to serve the Lord. So we have to keep the higher purpose in our mind always. What are we doing? Why are we doing this? Is it for my pleasure or is it for Krishna's pleasure? So if we have that, we will love everybody and we'll be able to work with anybody.
Hari Bol. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Mother. I
And
think this.
I pray I continue to have that. It's not that I'm very, very amicable, but I'm trying, like everyone else. We are all trying.
So just want to know, Mataji. So we have so many anarthas inside, even after chanting also. So
Mm.
how do you find yourself, Mataji, in those stages? Like we get angry, we get like
This is
you
a
know, right?
question
Sometimes
that my friends can answer, not me. They'll be able to tell what all my problems are. All my devotee friends will be able to answer this question. They have seen
we
all
always
my slides.
said that we have to be tolerant. Theoretically, it's possible to
Mm.
say it's,
It's
but
easy.
when we go to follow that practically, it's not at all possible. In my case, if you take, I
Mm.
usually get angry.
Yeah.
So how is it in your case, Mataji? Like,
I get angry very easily. Ask my mother, she'll tell you. Yeah, I get very angry. I mean, I get angry very easily. See, it's not very difficult to get angry. Everybody gets angry. Anger is there. But I am a person who's like, I fizzle, my anger comes out, it blasts out, and then I become cool immediately. I don't hold on to anger. I don't hold on to enmity. I can't hold on to anything negative, such. Things for a long time. Not that I don't have it, I have it, but only one thing is I can't hold on to it for long. So that's a blessing by Krishna's mercy. It's a big blessing. So whether it's always good to patch up, in my opinion, whether you're right or wrong, it's always a better policy to patch up whatever your situation may be. I like to patch
so how
up.
to see this, Mataji? That we are always said that we have to tolerate it, but still we are getting angry. So how
Mm.
you see this, Mataji?
How do we see
we are
this?
we are practicing, we are doing the sadhana, and also we are told that we should not by our superiors we are told that we should not get angry, we should be tolerant, and we should adjust everywhere. So but still that small spark is there inside which comes out. So why is this happening, do you think, Mataji?
It happens because we think things should go the way I expect it to, but things do not always go the way we expect. We expect others to behave in a particular way that is pleasing to us, but others need not behave that way. It comes down to our expectations. Actually, at the end of the day, we should let people be who they are and accept them for who they are. Then we'll be able to tolerate everybody around us. So, simple formula, difficult to implement, but still we can keep telling ourselves this. We can't expect everybody to be the way you are expecting them to be, right? It's not feasible. So
Yes.
when our expectations are not met, we get angry, and that's all.
So I just want to know that, curious to know that who is the first Maharaj or first sadhu you saw after coming into this movement, Mataji? Do you remember? You had a word with them.
Me, I have not spoken to anybody. No, I don't even speak to my spiritual master. Okay, I'm a very non-verbal person when it comes to people I don't. I mean, not who are not very familiar to me. But I have had many inspirations. If I don't know who I saw first, honestly, I don't know. There are many Maharajas I saw, but there are some Maharajas who made an impression, like Jayapataka Maharaj. When I saw him the first time, I still remember my eyes were tearing up and I was continuously crying. I had no idea why I was crying. Of course, it was my dream to see my Guru Maharaj in person, and I was waiting for that day. I still remember it was October 2nd. I don't remember the year, I think 2010. Yeah. So I was waiting, when will I see this person? And finally, I saw my spiritual master, and I had decided even before seeing him that this is the person I really want to be a disciple of,
Okay.
if he accepted me. I was also a big fan of Indradyumna Swami. I'm also now also Indradyumna Swami Maharaj. I remember listening to some of his classes and being very, very inspired and wanting to see him. I did have his darshan. But honestly, I'm not a person who has gone and spoken to anyone. Even my own spiritual master, I have not spoken actually, except for during initiation, you have to tell your vows. During second initiation, you have to repeat, right? That's all. I've not done anything more. I'm not spoken to any Maharaj for that matter. Um,
Okay.
but these people, these Maharajas, I really remember, and I can, and of course, Tamal Krishna Maharaj is my hero, but I've never seen him because he left this universe before I could even come into this movement. So, but to this day, he's my real hero.
Very, very cool, Mataji. Very cool. And so, yeah, you have read all these shastras, which means like Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita and Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavat. As of now, you are taking classes also in Chaitanya Bhagavat also. So,
Oh, I
how do
want
you
to say before you go to the next question, I remember my meeting with Bhakti Swami Maharaj as well and serving him. That is an impression that I can never take out from my mind. I've not seen a gentleman like him. I didn't understand the meaning of gentleman till I saw Maharaj. I should say that. Yes, I was in so much awe those 3 days when we were associating with him. Actually, there are so many Maharajas I might be missing, but one by one, it's all coming to my memory since you asked this question. Yeah, go ahead with the next, Mataji. Sorry for interrupting.
Yes, no, Mataji. So very nice to hear that you have been inspired. Initially, when I asked you who are your inspirations, you were saying like Prabhupada and Jiva Goswami. Yes, of course, our acharyas here. Acharyas are inspiration. And now, at present, from the Maharajas, we knew that these are they are your inspirations. So, so very nice, Mataji. Thank you for sharing that. And yeah, so you have read all these scriptures, right, Mataji, which means like Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, everything. So how do you find time to read all these scriptures, Mataji?
Finding time, I told you, right? Um, you can find time for things you love. Yeah. So if you
Of
like
course.
something, another thing I always feel is take up a project, take up take up a task. I want to study the scripture within so many days. Put a timetable for yourself. It will help a lot. Or you prepare for a class. If you have the opportunity to give classes, you take up seminars. I learned all this formulae seeing how Tamal Krishna Maharaj had structured his life. I mean, not that I have observed him so keenly, but little bit that I saw, I thought this really helped. He would go subject by subject. So take up one book, complete that book, go subject by subject, have a study plan, or listen. I'm not a person who can really read books. I'm not a good book reader, though you call me a bookworm. I'm really not a good book reader. I like to hear the narration of the book. That is one thing I like. And if I have to prepare for a class, yes, I like to read and I like to cover that topic in detail, like that. Like if you want to study Ramayana, go start a put a timetable for Ramayana, have a structured study. I always feel scripture should be read in an organized fashion, not like random bits and pieces, classes here and there. Any scripture you take, try to read it fully from beginning to end in a focused manner. So that way, you will really start enjoying Shastra. That is what I feel. Yeah. It is very
Thank you.
important. That is very
Yes.
important, not just to hear random classes. You should also take up study. I can read from a screen. I have difficulty reading from a book. Everybody is wired differently. So I like to put everything on the screen and I like to read.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mataji, for sharing that point that we have to make a timetable of one scripture first, finish that, and then go to the other. But what happens is, while reading one itself, we'll be hearing to the other class, okay, I
Yeah,
want
you
to
can
read
hear, like for
this.
example, yeah, in our daily sadhana, we hear Bhagavatam class, Chaitanya Bhagavat class as part of Bhakti Sanga. It is natural. You join the two classes, you do your japa, all that is a part of life. But besides that, we should also have our study time. Or you hear
Yeah.
the Guru Maharaj's lecture, like everybody will be listening to their spiritual master's lecture continuously, right? We all listen to Maharaj's lecture, we all do our daily Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Bhagavat classes. But besides that, when we are studying a scripture, try to go from beginning to end. So you get the full idea of what it is.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that, Mataji. Hopefully, I will follow that. So, devotees also who are seeing this interview will follow that. So,
Yeah.
being in Bhakti Sangha for such a long time, what are the changes you found at Mataji till
Yeah, we
now?
have grown beautifully. Uh, the people, all the devotees, so it's like talking about oneself, right? When we talk about Bhakti Sangha, it's like self-praise. But but I take this opportunity to do the self-praise. Okay. So Bhakti Sangha, the first thing is the people. Our devotee community of Bhakti Sangha, the coordinators. I like the fact that in spite of all our differences, in spite of the way we see, I mean, we are from different congregations, we are from different time zones, we have our own differences. One devotee may not necessarily like the other devotee, but still, in spite of everything, we are united together for so many years. By Krishna's mercy, touchwood, it should continue. It should continue always. So that is one thing I love about Bhakti Sangha. In spite of differences, yeah, sometimes there are fights, but then these are very trivial. They are very small fights, and then we are back for the higher purpose. That is the best thing about Bhakti Sangha. And the enthusiasm by all the coordinators. I have not seen more enthusiastic coordinators anywhere like Bhakti Sangha. Yeah, everybody comes forward. Okay, I want this service. Can I be engaged in this service? Is it okay if I take up that service? Nobody thinks service is a burden. They enjoy so much, and everybody is looking for new avenues to serve. So that is the beautiful thing. You asked me about the progress, right? So I'm first glorifying, then I'll come to the progress. Uh, so the people are wonderful. The service attitude is wonderful. And everybody is enjoying in Bhakti Sangha. I feel everybody is very happy from morning to night. We all love each other, we enjoy, and I feel our entire day is nothing but Bhakti Sangha from morning to night. Either we are on a phone call with a friend from Bhakti Sangha, or we are organizing some Bhakti Sangha class, or we are taking care of the kids, or something or the other is going on with respect to Bhakti Sangha. So that is the beauty. And how it has progressed, yes, definitely. Initially, it was a very small. um, forum in one sense that there was not much outreach, meaning a lot of people did not know about us. But eventually, with the help of social media, we have made ourselves visible, and now, by Krishna's mercy, the whole world knows.
Worldwide.
Yeah, whole world knows.
Worldwide.
So that is the progress. Yes.
Hare. So, what is the one thing you wish to say to the devotees who are watching this, Mataji, and also to the youths who are watching this? How can they do the bhakti process consistently? What would you wish to say?
How to do bhakti consistently? Enjoy what you're doing. Bhakti is variegated. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. You all know that there are so many ways in which you can be engaged in Krishna consciousness. Pick one process that is very close to your heart and do it nicely. If you have picked, maybe for you Shravanam is easy. You love to do Shravanam. Just keep listening. If you can just chant or you can do Kirtan, keep doing that. Or if you can just do a simple service like cooking, keep doing that. And that way you will enjoy the process. Once you enjoy the process, our consistency will automatically come. So it's all about enjoying what we do for the pleasure of Krishna. That's all.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. It was very wonderful to have your association today for this annual edition of Bhakti Sanga Japa newsletter interview. And thank you so much for coming on the call and giving us your association, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji. So, dear devotees, so with this, we are ending this newsletter interview. Please watch and give us your valuable comments. And she is one of our coordinator, and she is the one who encourages us in all our services also. So, whenever you come to Bhakti Sangha, yes, you have a service which you can take up and serve the Lord. Thank you so much once again, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Ancha kalpatrupasya